Okay, so remember we had these. Remember we had the square root of, I don't know, I'll make one up, x plus 4 equals, say, 3. So for those, we squared both sides, okay, because it's a square root. These are squared, so square root both sides. I'm going to square root this side. I'm going to square root that side, okay? Now, remember, the square root of x plus 2 squared is just x plus 2. That's why we do it. The left-hand side is easy. The square root of 24, though, is plus and minus. Right. 24. 24 is 4 times 6. Yeah? I can square root the 4 to a 2, okay? And leave the root 6 alone. Now, all I can do for this one, when I subtracted 2, is right. The answer is negative 2 plus or minus 2 root 6. That's all I can do for that, okay? That's what x equals, okay? Now then, this one's a little bit nicer, I think. If I square root both sides on this one, again, I'll just have 2x minus 5. Remember, square root, don't square. This will be plus or minus 3. Don't forget the plus or minus. There's going to be two answers. So, looks like I'm going to add a 5, then divide by 2 for both the plus and the minus 3, okay? So, let's see what that comes out to be. So, we have 2x, okay, equals, if I add a 5 to the 3, I get 8. If I add a 5 to the negative 3, what do I get 2. So can you see that x is going to equal 4, and it's also going to equal, what's that, 2, 1, 1? Okay, there you go. X equals 4 and x equals 1. Okay, we can check on that. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 take away 5 is 3. When you square it, you get 9. When x is 1, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 take away 5 is negative 3, but negative 3 squared is still 9. It works. Okay, just checking the answers. Right, okay, I know students sometimes get confused by what number goes where in the equation. The A is the future amount. That's what your money is going to grow to. So, that's the future amount that you are going to get in your bank. Right now, your P, your principal, is $1,800. Okay, that's what P is, the principal. You've got in the bank right now. And I've still got 1 plus R, and I'm going to raise that to the power T, which for this is 2 years. So there it is. So all the numbers in place, just the 1 plus R. I'm looking for the interest rate R. Now please, look, to get to this by itself, I need to clear everything around it. You've got to get rid of that 1800 first. Do not subtract it, as I've seen students do. It's like it's the number next to the letter. It's been multiplied, so the opposite is divide. Alright, let's divide by $1,800. Okay, that has gone. So, calculator. 2022 divided by 1,800 equals, right, 1.12. So 1.12 right now, okay, equals 1 plus r squared. Horrible pen. 1 plus r squared, okay? Now this is very much similar to look at 29, alright? Again, we're going to square root both sides. I will just have 1 plus r on the right. That's the easy side. The rest is put in your calculator. What's the square root of 1.12? Now for this one, I don't see a, oh there it is. Square root that. 1.05 now, 1.06, 1.06. So remember, I just square rooted both sides, okay? So now just take away 1. Take away 1. Can you see that r equals just 0.06, which, don't forget, is 6%, and that's the answer, 6%. Right, let's look at this last one. Complete the square or use the quadratic equation formula. Right, okay. Quadratics. So, the formula's on the test, okay? So, A is 1, B is 4, C is negative 6, okay? So, negative B, negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is going to give you 16. Now be careful, let's write this all out now. Minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 6. Now can you see, this here is going to give you positive 24, okay? So if we erase that, this will be positive 24. Okay, which is 40. And that's all still over 2. Okay. So let's have a look. So we've got the square root of 40. Again, I'll erase this again. Erase it. What's the square root of 40? So the 16 and 24 is 40. Right. Okay, so there we go. Okay, square root of 40. What times what makes 4 times 10? Okay, so 40 is now 4 times 10. So again, times 10. I can square root the 4. I can't square root the 10. This square root of 4 will become 2. Alright. So again, just follow this, rewind if you need to. Pretty much that's it. Okay, look at that. There we go. I'm just going to reduce it around here, around this area. Okay, and say if I divide everything by 2, it's negative 2 plus or minus 1. I don't need to write the 1. 2 over 2. Don't forget this as well. Okay, root 10. There you go. Okay, that's the quadratic equation formula. I suppose if I have to complete the square, right, this is how I do it. Okay, let's complete the square. Okay, right. Here we go. This is how I do it. Right, x squared plus 4x. Okay, now that's the part that I'm going to complete the square on. I like to put the number on the other side. Okay, I just like to throw it onto the other side. Okay, so negative 6, add a 6 to both sides, 6 on the other side. How do I complete the square? Remember this? Half of that is 2, and when I square it, I get 4. Okay, I'm going to add a 4, which means I have to add a 4 to this side. So remember, half of that 4 squared. Half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4. What does this mean? This means x plus 2 squared. I feel like I factored it, okay? That's what that is, and that now equals 10. Okay? So look at this. You're now going back to, you've got to square root both sides. So x plus 2 is all that's left on the left. When you square root of 10, all you can get is plus or minus root 10. All I need to do now is take away 2, and you're going to get the same answer. If you rewind the video, you'll get negative 2 plus or minus root 10. So all you can do is write negative 2 in front of everything when you take away 2. Take away 2, that's what x equals. And that's what we've got for the quadratic equation formula as well. Okay, graphs. Right, you have a table. Okay, right. Here we go. X is negative 2. What's negative 2 squared? That's positive 4. When you add a 2, you'll get 6. Come on, guys. I've seen people do bad results on the test 4 on this. That's all you have to do. Square that number. Positive 4. Add a 2, you get 6. Right, what's the square of negative 1? That's positive 1. Negative 1 times negative 1. Add a 2, you'll get 3. Square of 0 is 0. Add a 2, you get 2. Right, again, look, going backwards. Square of 1, you get 1. Add a 2, you get 3. You're going to kind of repeat this lot, okay? 2, when x is 2, 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Right, there's your table completed, okay? Let's have a, what's that then? Okay, so when x is negative 2, y is 6, right there. X is negative 1, y is 3, right there. X is 0, y is 2, right there. X is 1, and 2 makes 6. Okay, there. Okay, and nice smooth curve if you can. Okay, there we go. That's it. All right, kind of. That's the graph of x squared plus 2. Now, the domain. Right, domains are all about what x values you can use in this equation. Okay, that's what domains are. Okay, so what x values? Well, you can use anything. Think about it. You can square anything. There's certain things you can't square root, so you might have some problems with square root equations because you can't square root negatives. You can't divide by 0, so there's always something that you can't do, but I can put any value of x into that particular equation, okay? But also from the graph, okay? Look, these go on forever. Yes, they go on forever going up, but that's nothing to do with range. Sorry, domain, that is range. Forget about that one, okay? It's nothing to do with domain. Domain's the x values. This is coming from, okay, over here, negative infinity. It's going to go to positive infinity. It is any number you want, you can put into that equation. The domain is, here you go, negative infinity to positive infinity. And that will be pretty much the same for all these x squared graphs. Okay, they're always going to look like this, or they're going to move around a bit, they're going to be upside down, but still they're going to go on forever to the left and on forever to the right. Okay, you can put whatever number you want into that equation. It's also go the same for the next one. Okay, so again, do the same thing with that one. I think with this, you're going to get some +2. You're going to get something, just a rough sketch of this. You're going to get something that will look like that. Okay, it's going to look something like that. But again, you kind of try it yourself. Okay, don't need to do another one. All right, that is just you putting numbers into that equation. You know, it's -4 +2. It's -2. -2 squared is 4. Okay, things like that. Okay, so again, that one there. So go on and do that one. Again, the domain for that is going to be -infinity to positive infinity. So that's the graphs done. One more, I think. Let's have a look what's going on here. Okay, have a look at this. Corner wall built. I'm just going to roughly go through this one. Okay, x. One side's 4 feet longer than the other. Okay, so that's x plus 4. Okay. Right, that's it. Everything's labelled. Pythagoras theorem. X squared. Think of it. Remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Plus, right, the x plus 4 side squared. Okay. Equals the 10 squared. Now, please look. Many times I've had to say this. When you are calculating this, you do not just square the x and square the 4. Think of it as a FOIL. It's an x plus 4 times another x plus 4. If you don't do the outer and the inner, you're not going to have the correct answer. Here's the full answer. That's still x squared. Plus, if I FOIL this, I'll get x squared plus 8x. People miss that out. Then the plus 16, okay? And that will equal 100. So let's have a look. Let's get all this together. Let's erase that. Okay, we have, okay, these two together will give me 2x squared. Still got an 8x. And if I take away 100 from both sides, remember it must be equal to 0. Take away 100 from both sides, horrible writing again. That'll give me negative 80, what's that? Take off 100. Okay, right, okay. And that will now equal 0, okay? Now, you know, it's going to be maybe another quadratic equation formula, but at least for now, look, divide everything by 2. So this is what you'll have, x squared plus 4x minus 42 equals 0. Now, if you look at that, now, if you can't factor it, all right, into 2 parentheses, it's the quadratic equation formula again, all right? So I'm not going to run through that one. It's just another quadratic equation formula. And you might put it in your calculator, okay, to get the answer, because it wants the answer to 1 decimal place, okay? So maybe don't do all the fancy little things at the end. Just put it in your calculator, okay? Remember, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Calculator, get an answer. I'll just do one more. Is that it? Oh, man ride a bicycle. Erase. Okay. I'll do another one that's kind of similar to that one. 36. Let's do 36. Right. Okay, here we go. There's the equation. This is the height from the ground, all right? If the ball hits the ground, the height from the ground is 0, okay? So this is your equation, negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80, okay? Plus 80. Right, now then, if you really want to, you can try throwing that in the quadratic equation formula, but look, it's always nice to get the t squared, okay? A positive t squared. Look, again, like in the previous question, look at that one there. I divided everything by 2 to make it simpler. This, everything will divide by, believe it or not, negative 16. Everything by negative 16. You'll end up with this. T squared minus 4t minus 5. And again, that equals 0. You don't need the quadratic equation formula for this two numbers that make negative 5 when you multiply, make negative 4 when you add, is going to be t minus 5, t plus 1. Okay? Now that equals 0. Your two answers are going to be, so what makes it 0? T equals 5, t equals negative 1. Well, you can't have negative 1 seconds, so 5 is the answer. It takes 5 seconds for it to hit the ground. Okay? Okay, last question before it gets dark. Right, distance is speed times time. Okay? We've kind of used that one before. So time is distance over speed. It's like saying you divide both sides by r. Okay? So time is distance over speed. Here we go. The total time is 3 hours. Right. Time equals, right. Now, we have different times, different distances and speeds for either cycling or hiking. Right. I'm going to use this. That's what time is. Here's my total time. Right. For cycling, distance over speed, not sure yet. Hiking, distance over speed. Right, okay, so let's put the hiking speed as x, okay? So if you're cycling 12 miles an hour faster, that's x plus 12, okay? Right, there it is, there's the setup. Okay, so again, you've got the total time. Again, time is distance over speed for both the cycling and the hiking. Now, this is, again, multiply everything by x plus 12, okay, to get rid of that denominator. It's the lowest common denominator, x and x plus 12. So again, x plus 12, multiply that one as well, and the 3 again also gets multiplied by an x and an x plus 12. Okay, so there it is. We're now going to try and find what x is, which will be the hiking speed. Okay, right. Okay, so what will cancel here? The x. All right, the x will cancel here. What's left is a 6x plus 72. Okay, just the distributive law here and here. Right, what cancels here? The x plus 12 cancels. What's left is a 15x. Okay. Now then, over here, a 3x. Okay, right, a 3x times an x is a 3x squared. Again, a 3x times a 12 is 36x. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, bring everything here over to the other side, because this is where the x squared term is. So, look at this here. 15x and 6x is 21x. So I'm going to subtract 21x from both sides. Okay. So again, I've got 3x squared. But what's that? Is that 15x? That's positive 15x, isn't it? I'm also going to subtract a 72. Is that just it? Okay, so minus 72. Now that all will equal 0. Okay, again, nothing on that side. Now, to me, it looks like everything can be divided by 3. Okay, look, that, and that. So we're going to get x squared plus 5x minus, what's that, divided by 3? Totally blanked out there, 24. Okay, equals 0. Now, fortunately, folks, no quadratics, it'll factor into, right, squeeze it in here, x plus 8 and x minus 3. Two numbers that make negative 24, you multiply positive 5 when you add. Okay, there you go. You have that right there. There you go. Now, of course, again, what makes them 0, what the final answers. Okay, so, I could do some erasing here. Right, okay, so can you see x is going to be negative 8 for this one to make it 0 and positive 3 for this one. Now, this is a real life situation. You can't have negative 8. Well, the rate is miles an hour. It must be 3 miles an hour, okay? So, there you go, 3 miles an hour. Remember what this is? It's what we called x, which was the hiking speed, okay? All right, so if the bike goes 12 miles an hour faster than that, the bike's going to be going 15 miles an hour. Okay, so here are the two speeds based on the fact that I knew that one of them was 3 miles an hour, cycling's 12 miles an hour faster, That's 15 miles an hour. There you go. Finito.